Pratik Am Akanksha Swaroop. Days after Home Minister Amit Shah claimed a major demographic change in Jharkhand, Chief Minister Hemant Soren has now denied these claims and said that the real demographic change is taking place in West Bengal, a state ruled by TMC, an India bloc ally to the JMM. Soren also said that there is no change in the demography of Jharkhand and such claims are only being made to disturb the communal harmony of Jharkhand. Reacting to Soren's statement, BJP has now said that the claim made by the Home Minister Amit Shah is true and was even stated by the Jharkhand High Court. BJP has also said that Soren's statement reflects the disunity within the India bloc as one ally keeps targeting the other. Congress, on the other hand, has come out in support of Hemant Soren, saying that the Chief Minister is aware of the state's demography and accused BJP of trying to harm communal harmony. But facts don't lie. And going by census figures, the tribal population in Jharkhand has been dipping on an alarming rate, particularly in Santhal Parganas. At a time when Jharkhand Assembly elections are around the corner and the demographic shift in Jharkhand is already grabbing headlines, can the Bharatiya Janata Party turn these concerns into electoral gains with yet another India bloc versus India bloc situation? Well, that is something we will be deep diving into, but India's borders with Bangladesh are also extremely porous. And that's not a secret, but since the turmoil in the country, the fear of immigrants entering illegally has also grown to a large extent. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah in the recent past have raised this issue of rampant infiltration causing demographic changes in the state of Jharkhand. And my colleague Anvit Srivastava has travelled to the border for a reality check. For the first time on national television, we bring you the biggest proof of border exodus. Watch this eye-opening investigation by CNN News 18.
আমরা অনেক গরিব মানুষ তাই আসছি কাজের জন্য আমাদের ওখানে কাজ নেই তাই এখানে কাজ করতে আসছি
अभी कैसा हालत है बांग्लादेश में जहाँ आपका गांव है
অনেক খারাপ কোনো কাজ টাজ নেই সব ভেঙে ঠেঙে ফেলছে কাজ মাজ নাই সবার বাড়ি ঘর ভাঙছে বোম মারছে গুলি করছে
मैंने बोला मेरे पास तो वीज़ा नहीं है मैं इंडिया जाना चाहता हूँ मेरा बेटी और बीवी जा रहे तो बोला मैं तुमको भेज दूंगा 15,000 बांग्लादेशी टाका देना पड़ेगा अभी जिंदा रहने के लिए किधर जाएगा बांग्लादेश में रहेगा तो पकड़ लेगा वो सभी लोग इसीलिए इंडिया चला रहे
These testimonies never heard before on television epitomize the desperation of Bangladeshis to cross over into India. Since Sheikh Hasina's exit on August 5, the political turmoil in our neighbor country has raised fears of a mass exodus into India. Many rushed to the borders hoping for safety and a better livelihood.
यहाँ पे आप कैसे आई किसको आपने संपर्क किया कौन आपको यहाँ पर लेकर आया कितना पैसा दिया पूरा बताएंगे एक बार कैसे
দালালের মাধ্যমে আসছে দালাল নিয়ে আসছে নদী পার করে সাতরায় আসছে ওখান থেকে সাতরায় গলিতে করে নিয়ে আসছে কলা গাছের ভেলাই করে ডুবে নিয়ে আসে এখান থেকে এসে এই পারে যখন আসছে তখন বিএসএফ ধরছে ধরে তারপরে এখানে নিয়ে আসছে
अच्छा
দালালের নামটা আমি কিছু জানি না
और उसको कितना पैसा दिया जो लेकर आया
10,000
10,000 वो जो एजेंट था जो टाउट आपको लेकर आया जिसने 10,000 रुपये मांगे आपसे वो आपको कहाँ मिला था
ইমো
ईमो पे तो ईमो पे कैसे संपर्क हुआ कैसे बातचीत हुई
মোবাইলে কথা হইছে
मोबाइल से तो अभी तो जैसे अभी पकड़े गए तो अब क्या लग रहा है अब क्या होगा आगे
জানি না আমি জেলে দিয়ে দিবে জানি না
जब आप बांग्लादेश से इंडिया आ रहे थे तो कहाँ से आपका सफ़र शुरू हुआ
मैं इधर बेनापोल बॉर्डर में आया था उधर से मेरा बीवी और बेटी दोनों पासपोर्ट दे के वीज़ा लेके इंडिया में आया उधर वो जो दुकान था ना उधर से मैंने बोला मेरे पास तो वीज़ा नहीं है मैं इंडिया जाना चाहता हूँ मेरा बेटी और बीवी जा रहे तो बोला मैं तुमको भेज दूंगा 15,000 बांग्लादेशी टाका देना पड़ेगा वो तो दुकानदार है
फिर वो आपको लेकर आया
लेके ऑटो में इधर लेके आया 1 बजे फिर उधर बैठा रहा शाम तक, फिर मेरे को बोला इधर से वो पार करके जाना है नदी।
तो जिसको तैरना नहीं आता उसको कैसे लाया?
उसको थोड़ा पॉट है ना, ऑयल का पॉट, वो पॉट इधर बैठा के फिर लेके आया।
अच्छा।
हाँ।
तो कितने लोग आए थे?
14-15 होगा। मैंने
औरत था, कितना आदमी था?
औरत तो दो ही देखा, एक ही पकड़ गया और एक था।
बच्चे भी थे?
नहीं, बच्चे नहीं था।
तो अभी आप लोग जैसे 15 लोग एक साथ आए।
हाँ।
तो अभी क्या बहुत सारा लोग आ रहे हैं बांग्लादेश से?
हाँ, बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि बांग्लादेश में बहुत सारा प्रॉब्लम चल रही है अभी।
अच्छा अच्छा।
अभी उधर वो गवर्नमेंट उधर चेंज हो गया, इसीलिए उधर जो हिंदू लोग, हाँ, उधर जो हिंदू लोग हैं ना, वो लोगों को थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, और जो पॉलिटिशियन है, जो पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं, उन लोगों को भी प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है। इसीलिए सभी लोग अभी जिंदा रहने के लिए किधर जाएगा, बांग्लादेश में रहेगा तो पकड़ लेगा वो सभी लोग, इसीलिए इंडिया चला रहे हैं।
There seems to be a rise since August this year, but Bangladeshis illegally crossing into India is not a new phenomena. Ever wondered why many house helps, drivers, laborers often speak in a tongue that sounds more Bangladeshi than Bengali?
আমরা অনেক গরিব মানুষ, তাই আসছি কাজের জন্য। আমাদের ওখানে কাজ নেই, তাই এখানে কাজ করতে আসছি।
तो कहाँ जाने का था आपको? इंडिया आके क्या काम करना है और कहाँ जाना है?
झाड़ू पोछा करना है।
They claim to be from villages in Bengal, but the areas they identify with are all close to stretches vulnerable to human trafficking and infiltration along the Indo-Bangladesh border.
All right, so that report by Anvit clearly throws light on how that illegal immigration is happening, especially directed towards the state of West Bengal. But let's also bring you the data that's been published on the basis of the census reports of 1951 and 2011. This, of course, is about Jharkhand. It was said that in the year 1951, the population of tribals in Jharkhand stood at 36%, Sanatani Hindus at 87.9%, and Muslim population at 8.9%. Whereas in 2011, tribals became 26%, Muslims of course increased to 14.5%, and Sanatanis at 81.17%. That is the tribal population decreasing, the Sanatani population decreasing too, and the Muslim population of course increasing. Now, giving the statistics of the Santhal Pargana, the census data shows that the situation here has reached alarm bells. There's an alarming situation here, giving the statistics that existed back in the year 1951. It's been noted that the population of tribals in Santhal Pargana was 44.67% of Muslims, 9.44%, and others 45.9%, whereas in 2011, the population of tribals decreased to 28.11%, and the Muslim population increased to 22.73%. The population of others has increased to only 49.2%. At the same time, even the census data between 1951 up to 2011 shows a rise in Muslim population, especially in West Bengal. As per 1951 census data, the Muslim population in West Bengal stands at 19.46%, while in 2011 it increased to 27.01%. This shows a rise of 7.55% in Muslim population alone of West Bengal, roughly between the years 1951 and 2011. Now, there has been a rise in Muslim population in Santhal Parganas in Jharkhand as well. As per the 1951 census, the Muslim population in the area was 9.44%, while in 2011 it rose to 22.73%. This shows a rise of 13.29%. Why would the governments of West Bengal and Jharkhand not acknowledge the fact? And so, as far as Bangladeshi infiltration is concerned, this is the biggest expose from border demographic change. Is that now becoming a reality? That's a big question that we will be posing to our guests, but in just a bit.
यहाँ कोई डेमोग्राफी में बदलाव नहीं, सब अमन चैन से रह रहे हैं, खुशी अमन से रह रहे हैं।
वैसे उनको संथल परगना में जो बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठी घुसकर अतिक्रमण करते हैं, कब्जा करते हैं, लैंड कब्जा लेते हैं, जिस पर तो हाईकोर्ट ने बोला है उस पर उनको कुछ नहीं बोलना, क्योंकि वोट बैंक का मामला है।
एक अपना मुख्यमंत्री का अपना अनुभव होगा राज्य के लिए, उन्होंने किस संदर्भ में कहा है मैं तो नहीं जानता, पर उन्होंने किसी को किसी से नाम लेके तो नहीं पुकारा, संगठन को तो कुछ नहीं कहा। उन्होंने कहा इस तरह कहावत जैसे कही जाती है कि चूहे कुतर देते हैं या करते हैं।
The BJP's view, that is the demography of the state of West Bengal has been disturbed by TMC as a political party or the ruling party. This is a acceptance, but along with the West Bengal, even in case of Jharkhand, the demographic changes are happening there.
All right, let me introduce our esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Siddharth Yadav, who is the spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm also joined in by Mr. A.S. Deol, who is the spokesperson for the JMM. Ashwini Dubey, who is a senior advocate at the Supreme Court. Also joined in by Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, who is the editor at Blitz, which is a renowned Bangladeshi newspaper. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Mr. Deol, if I could begin with you. First of all, what prompted Mr. Hemant Soren to make that statement, especially asking everybody to go and check the data in West Bengal? Is that the official confirmation coming in from JNN that there is such infiltration taking place and there is a demographic change happening in West Bengal?
Thank you, Akansha, for having me. This is the first time I'm on your show. First of all, I'll raise an objection of the data you showed. You've just misinterpreted the whole data. Even I have the 2001. If you can pull it up, I can break it down for you how it works. See, it's very easy. I'll go by the affidavit filed by the Home Ministry in the Jharkhand High Court, in which they said, like,
no, first of all, I want you to highlight every point that you've said that, you know, that's a major accusation that we've misinterpreted the data. Why would you say so?
I will start with the report you showed. In that it was clearly the Bangladeshi people are saying that the Hindus are being persecuted there, so they are crossing over. So I did not see any Muslim name coming up. They have come in. So the person said the Hindus are being persecuted in Bangladesh. So in CAA, the Hindus will be given citizenship. So there's no point of debating on that. The second point, I'll go by the data. Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma is CM of Assam. He's more in Jharkhand nowadays than in Assam, and he's basically he is contradicting himself. He was in Congress before, and from 2001 to 2011, I have this figure that the Assam population grew less than a decade before. So if there was increased infiltration in the last 10 years of the census, the data should have gone up. Similar is the case
yes,
with...
they all... I've asked you about...
Akansha,
the point is that the question that I posed was, what Hemant Soren has said, is that an acknowledgement of the way infiltration is taking place? A, B, the rise in demographic change in West Bengal per se. I'm just asking you about what your own Chief Minister of the state has said.
So my Chief Minister is saying is the point you are saying, the people are coming from Bangladesh. The first point is, the report you showed is a failure on the BSF and the central government. So you should actually say that line, that the Indian government has failed to protect our borders. But you are still continuing that there is a demographic change in
what is Bengal's data. Go and
One
see.
second, I'm coming
go
to
and
the point.
see what is Bengal's data. Please
Allow
explain.
Me.
No, I'm allowing you. Please
Allow
explain to me in all my humility. As an ignorant being over here, please explain to me what Mr. Hemant Soren means when he says go and see what is Bengal's data, then see the data of various districts in Jharkhand. I have quoted him verbatim.
So he is saying that all the infiltration is happening in Assam and Bangladesh and not in Jharkhand. And you should ask the BSF and the Home Ministry and the Defense Ministry about what is happening, why are our borders not being protected and why are these people coming. In your report, did you show anyone of Jharkhand? You showed the report of the international borders and you are asking us to clarify on that.
I don't think, Mr. Deol, you've paid attention to the census data that we just shared. So this is becoming a pointless discussion. We have just shared it with you. You want me to repeat and waste my airtime over here?
I have the data, Akansha. I have the data with me.
Then I'm sure you will agree that in Santhal Parganas itself, there's been a rise as far as Muslims are concerned. There's been a dip in the tribal population. What are you talking about? We just shared the data with you.
You are also eating.
All right, Siddharth Yadav, if I could begin with you now, because you heard the kind of accusations that are coming in. There seems to be questioning of basic facts which don't seem to lie. But I'd like to bring you in. The big question that's being asked right now is that is about Assam, because Himanta Biswa Sarma is also being accused of not spending enough time in his own state and taking pot shots at Jharkhand, whereas Assam itself is dealing with the same problem.
No, Akansha, first of all, I think what largely has to be addressed is, we have to get to the core issue of this entire discussion. And the core issue is very, very clear with the statements made by the JMM spokesperson right now. If you do not acknowledge the problem, that can't be a solution. Now, the JMM or be it the Mamata government, they have just blindfolded themselves and turned their faces away because they do not want to acknowledge the problem. And that is happening at the cost of the tribal population. That is happening at the cost of the population of the diaspora of Jharkhand and West Bengal. Now, if infiltration is an issue, that has to be worked upon collectively by everybody. If populations are rising, and as the data clearly shows, we can't be disputing that.
No, but that is being disputed over here. Mr. Deol is disputing the data.
And Akansha, I don't find any reason for doing that. I do not find either he would present a data which counters this data or he has to agree to this data. But the problem is that he has no data which shows what the real picture probably he is trying to portray. This is the real picture of the state. There are demographic changes that are happening and the government has to accept to that, because the moment you start to solve the problem is once you accept that there is a problem. Now, if you want to turn a blind side and say there is no problem, then it is going to continue to happen at the cost. And now, Akansha, the larger problem also is that can't we not conclude that the governments and the administrations are also, purposefully not acknowledging this demographic change and being a party to whatever this strategic, these changes are happening. If the tribals are decreasing, if population of certain communities are increasing, and the chief minister says, we don't know, then probably he knows more and he is doing more. And the JMM or the Mamata government have to address to that. That is my point number one. When it comes down to Assam, I think, he also knows in his heart, the JMM spokesperson, that Assam is on a very right track of development. Himanta Biswa Sarma ji has brought in lot of changes in the state. Now he is commenting something on Jharkhand, or if he is commenting something on Hemant Soren, we are a democratic country. He has all the right to do so. Now you are, if that is such a big problem on you, you bring out something that is for Assam, but you don't have it.
All right.
Your entire, state.
I think Mr. Deol wants to make a point. We also
and
lost his
audio.
It. Mr. Deol, please go ahead. I also have a counter question. Right.
I am not disputing your data. I am just saying that you are just interpreting it wrong. You just showed
census data, Mr. Deol, is just facts. You cannot misinterpret facts. Now let me come to you. Let me pose a question about what you can accuse me, but I'm sure our viewer is smart enough to, in fact, interpret those facts and see facts and figures for themselves. But Mr. Deol, the Jharkhand High Court has categorically said that your government has denied that there is any infiltration taking place from Bangladesh, but you refuse to acknowledge, or in fact you've maintained a silence when it comes to the reduction of tribal population. Why isn't the JMM government able to explain why there's a reduction in the tribal population?
That's what I'm saying. You are misinterpreting it. I'll give you the absolute numbers. You know how much in...
No, why aren't you... Just explain why there's a reduction in tribal population.
There's no reduction in tribal population. I'll tell you one thing. That in last...
You are disputing what the Jharkhand High Court has said. It's been acknowledged by the Jharkhand High Court that there's a reduction in tribal population.
Let them go
Let's not veer away from the fact.
Let them go deep into that. I'll give you the absolute number. In last 10 years, 2001 to 2011, there was an increase of 360,000 tribals. There was an increase of 207,000 Muslims, and there's an increase of 938,000 Hindus. Do you say this is a decrease in tribal population? And your data which you were showing, that's more than 100%. A population can be only 100% of a place. It cannot be 140% what you are showing. Count the number of percentage, 36, 87, 88.9. How much is that? Is that 100%?
Ashwini Dubey,
The tribals belong to both Sanatanis and maybe Muslim, because they have given in the report that they have converted into Muslims. So tell me which part of how much Hindus are there and how much tribals are there in 87.9%.
but then your government is the first one to appease. Why isn't there?
Earlier in
there is corruption.
The tribals were counted under Hindus, but
there
no
is
longer.
corruption on the ground level. How are they able to come up with Indian identities is a question everybody is asking. Why is rampant conversion being permitted? All of those questions. And Ashwini Dubey, the court has made it amply clear as far as the Jharkhand High Court is concerned that there is a silence being maintained by the JMM government. They are not able to explain why there's been a reduction in the tribal population. So just to say that yes, there is infiltration happening, but we will not tell you why there's a reduction, there's no infiltration happening and there is no reduction of tribal population. What kind of an approach is that?
The political interests are more important and paramount than the national interest. In entire country, it is not the Jharkhand High Court. Even if you remember when Honorable Justice Gogoi was the Chief Justice of India at that point of time, the detain, detect and deport the Bangladeshis from India, the petition was pending. Even at that point of time, this issue was largely discussed. In entire country, be it small places or big cities, even the remote areas of the Jharkhand, demographic changes can be easily felt and seen. Our agency says that there's serious threat to the country, but a person whose responsibility is to ensure the law and order, to ensure the citizens of this country may be given priority over the illegal infiltrators or immigrants. They are not speaking. That shows that how reluctant they are about the national interest and national security. The large-scale illegal migrants, particularly from Bangladesh, have not only threatened the demographic structure of bordering districts, but entire country and seriously impaired the security and national integration. There is a need for expeditious identification of those illegal immigrants. Right. And they has to be dealt with and sent back. In Law Commission, not only this, we are talking about today. You remember 21st September 2000, 175th Law Commission report on Foreigners Amendment Bill has dealt with this issue. They have said that the illegal immigrants from Bangladesh and Myanmar are changing drastically the demography of this country. 24 years have passed since then. It is the collective and joint responsibility of each and every government and government agencies to ensure that the safe places to be given to the citizens rather than those who are coming by paying 10,000, 50,000. The visuals and the story which you have just showed before this program, that is an eye-opener. How for 10,000, 15,000 rupees they are being sent to this country.
But Ashwini Dubey, I don't think it is an eye-opener for those who don't even wish to open their eyes at all. Let me quickly bring in Mr. Chaudhary. First of all, thank you for so patiently awaiting your turn, Mr. Chaudhary. We've seen how Bangladesh has lodged its protest with India with regards to what the Honorable Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah had to say about this entire issue and the problem. But just lodging a protest, is that going to be enough? Because the buck stops at how effectively can both the governments tackle such a menace, and it is equally an onus upon the Bangladeshi government to run rehabilitation programs.
Thank you very much. Before I answer to your question, Akanksha ji, regarding these infiltrators, I mean the migration floodgate, you may know and you should know that they are not just simply that going to India in search of jobs. They are entering India from Myanmar. 9 million Rohingyas have already entered Bharat, India. I have the specific information. And every day thousands of people are now, especially after 5th of August, thousands of people are entering India because their agenda is to implement Ghazwa-e-Hind. They want to break India. And it is not a question for any political party to debate on the number of the infiltrators or modus operandi, but this is a national threat to India. They pose a national threat to India, and if you quickly understand, sooner you understand, is better for your country. They want to break India. Now, as you are talking about the two governments, one in Dhaka and the Delhi, I mean, how you can interact with a government in Dhaka, which is filled with the Islamists, influenced by the Islamists, which claims itself to be a revolutionary Islamist government, and it is dictated by all India element. Even today, I was seeing with surprise that a PNP leader has published a photograph of a Hindu priest and calling upon people to enter India and to kill him. Because he made some, according to him, offensive remarks on the Prophet. So you can understand they are already entering India with an agenda.
Right.
You cannot Akankshaji expect amicable settlement or resolution of this crisis when you have a government sitting in Dhaka which hates India.
Mr. Chaudhary, thank you for calling a spade. And on that note, Mr. Deol, what else do you need? A leading journalist from Bangladesh himself he's just acknowledged that infiltration is an open secret. And yet you begin or continue to in fact negate the data. But that's why I want to bring to you what the Assam High Court has said in one of the orders recently issued. It says some political parties have been encouraging and even helping illegal migration with a view to building vote banks. Tell me something, the popular opinion that is now arriving is that in opposition ruled states, whether it is West Bengal, whether it is Jharkhand, and now in Himachal itself, we've seen how the government has gone on record to acknowledge that Jamaat members are coming and becoming a menace to the state of Himachal Pradesh as well. Would you not agree that there seems to be some appeasement effort coming in from these opposition ruled states? Why won't they take adequate action? Do you have the face to in fact say that we will not implement CAA, we will not implement NRC? Right at the beginning of the show, you said that what is the harm if they will be given citizenship under CAA, all those Hindu immigrants who are entering?
You are against giving, because CAA is an act in India, and giving citizenship to Hindus is according to the act. So you are against that also? I was just saying that because Hindus coming in India is okay.
Fair enough. Then why should JMM or even TMC go on to say that we will not implement CAA or NRC?
One sec, let me complete. So first of all, you should have started the show and accused BJP of being a failure in protecting our borders. But not a single word has come. Our friend from BJP spoke that the infiltration problem in in West Bengal and Jharkhand is an issue because it's an opposition ruled state. But in Assam, Himanta Vishwas has come up with some magic wand. So there is not an issue, which has the highest number of infiltrators. Let me be very clear on one thing. A single foreign person in our borders without proper authorization is a harm on this country. And
just a small correction over there. Himanta Biswa Sarma is coming out with a white paper next year between April and June. He has made that commitment. And if he is coming up with a white paper, why can't governments from Jharkhand or West Bengal acknowledge and work on the menace?
Why can't he wait till June next year for Jharkhand? Because Jharkhand has elections now, so he wants an answer now. Is that it? Is that what you are suggesting?
No, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm asking questions, and I'm going to take that question from Siddharth Yadav as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One more question to our friend. I'll tell you one thing. I am saying that I am against any foreigner entering our borders and compromising our sovereignty without papers, but it should start with the borders, not with the states, because right to freedom of movement allows anybody, nobody can challenge at the border of the state between
I'm running short of time,
West Bengal and Jharkhand to stop some person.
I'd like to bring you in. Just to clarify, yes, that white paper has been committed as far as the demographic change at booths, polling booths is concerned. But the big question arises, why is the Indo-Bangladesh border as porous when you look at the west part of our country? That's not as porous. This menace is also happening because of lack of adequate border control.
Akanksha, definitely I wish to highlight two things. One aspect is the borders being porous. We know how it has been over the years. Everyday infrastructure is being added on that borders. Geographical areas do, pose difficulties for that. But our forces and everybody, tries to keep a check that the borders should be less and less porous and no such infiltration happens. But this is one aspect. Why JMM, why the Jharkhand government and why Bengal government should answer is because when such infiltration happens, despite all the efforts, why are the governments so comfortable in handing out any document, giving them PAN cards, giving them Aadhaar cards, making them comfortable, not speaking against them, not ensuring that any action is taken on them? Why is that? What is that agenda? That is the question that I'm asking. Why is it that we see fake PAN cards, fake Aadhaar cards being issued by the state governments, fake identification cards being issued by the state governments? If that is an issue, if strategically state governments are trying to promote a demographical change in their state for reasons which are best known to them, I think that is also an issue that has to be addressed. And my friend from JMM is not speaking a word on that. That is the core issue, sir. Your government is sitting not acknowledging the problem.
Mr. Deol, I give you 30 seconds.
Supporting
Let
the
him
problem.
defend.
That's point number two.
Mr. Deol.
So, there are incidents when we have caught people who have Aadhaar cards issued from UP Bareilly under the rulership of Aditya Yogi Nath. They are getting it from the UP. Maximum whatever cards have been caught are made from UP, BJP controlled government. So why can't
facts,
they
sir. Please
start
speak for
from
your
there?
state.
No. I'm talking about my state where cards issued from UP have come. So please go and correct your facts.
All right, let me quickly, in fact, end with Ashwini Dubey's thoughts. Ashwini Dubey, UIDAI has, in fact, gone on record to say that it may present a unique identity, the Aadhaar card, but it should not be considered as a basis for citizenship. What is the solution? We have loopholes like the Danpatra. In July itself, we've seen an altercation between the tribal family and Muslim family because they were grabbing land through a loophole or a procedure like the Danpatra. I'd like your thoughts.
This is what the responsibility of state governments lies. This is what the state governments must ensure. Who in the district level, the law and order is with the state government. Though maybe the citizenship, maybe the country's issue and the national central agencies has to take action as per this. But ultimately, who has to detain, who has to detect, the responsibility lies the state governments in Jharkhand. Why we are talking about Jharkhand? Because the Honorable High Court, a constitutional court, has acknowledged this. That look, this is happening here. The demographic is being changed. Women are being lured. Women are being converted. Women are being victimized. So why we can't? How can we close our eyes? Now, two things. West Bengal is being used by illegal immigrants as a safe corridor. There are 3 migrants. Those who come with the valid visa and stay, Shaheen Bagh we can see. Those who come with the forced visa documents and then again stay. Those who enter with a fake identity, and state governments does not acknowledge it, despite agencies are saying they are threat. So where?
I'm afraid I'm running short of time. I'll have to leave it at that. It's high time that state governments, in fact, sit up and take notice of the situation, because remember, it is illegal immigration that's leading to crimes like robbery, trafficking of women and children, and even theft as well. Many thanks to you all for joining in on that discussion, but it's time for a quick break. Coming up after that quick break, the Tirumala temple is now turning into a battlefield as Jagan Mohan Reddy is planning to visit the temple tomorrow, but there are clauses to it. Can the temple visit prove faith? That's a question we'll be debating in just a bit.
former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy is going to be visiting Tirupati, is going to be visiting the temple. The BJP and the TDP have now upped their ante against him. They say that before he enters the temple, before he takes those steps that go up to the hill temple, he should sign on the dotted line as far as a declaration of his faith is concerned. That is something that he hasn't done in the past because rules were bent for him when he was the Chief Minister, is the allegation that the ruling government there is making. Meanwhile, we're seeing several other leaders, including that of the BJP, making a beeline to this particular temple. Madhvi Lata was one such leader who's en route there. So there is high drama that is expected once Jagan Mohan Reddy reaches Tirupati tomorrow.
See, Jagan Mohan Reddy had committed an unforgivable sin. So there will be no relief for him. Lord Balaji, Swami Venkateshwara will not forgive him. Even if Jagan Reddy climbs up the 7 hills on his knees, even then there will be no forgiveness from the Lord. All these years you have gone into the temple without signing the declaration. We all know that you are a believer in Christianity, which we don't have any problem with. We respect all religions. If they intend to have a darshan of Lord Balaji, then they have to sign a declaration stating that they have faith in him.
पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री जगन मोहन रेड्डी 28 तारीख को तिरुपति मंदिर में पहुंचने वाले हैं, जहां पे उन्होंने एक क्षमा अनुष्ठान का आयोजन कर रहे हैं। मैं बता दूं कि इन्होंने जो अपराध किया, लड्डुओं के अंदर सुअर के चर्बी, फिश ऑयल मिला के जो अपराध किया, हिंदू भावनाओं को जो ठेस पहुंचाई, वो जो दंड है वो क्षमा योग्य नहीं है। वो कितना भी अनुष्ठान कर लें, वो क्षमा योग्य नहीं है।
As far as this controversy is concerned, all these political parties, like, whether it is TDP or YSR Congress, their major source of income is corruption. They are not collecting meager amount from people and not getting, money that way. The main source of income is corruption. Whether it is in the name of God, whether it is in the name of road, whatever it is the corruption is the main source. So that makes no difference between YSR Congress party or TDP.
Jagan Mohan Reddy is planning to make this trip to the revered Tirumala temple, and as my colleague Swastika was mentioning, he is doing that to seek atonement. He is seeking forgiveness. Why is it that the BJP government and the TDP is asking for him to sign a formal declaration before he enters the temple premises?
Because in 1990, as per GO Order 311, it is very, very clear that anybody who belongs to other faith or dharma or religion is supposed to give an undertaking.
Okay.
That if in Lord Venkateshwara.
Welcome back. Now, YSRCP Chief YS Jagan Mohan Reddy will visit Lord Venkateshwara Swami Temple at the Tirumala Hills and offer prayers on September 28th. This is part of the statewide temple rituals called by the party to atone for the sin allegedly committed by Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu through his allegations on Tirupati laddus. Citing a private lab report from Gujarat, Andhra's Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has alleged the presence of beef tallow, lard and fish oil in the ghee used for making temple prasadam when Jagan Mohan Reddy was the Chief Minister. The YSRCP has of course rejected these accusations and accused Naidu of offending the feelings of countless devotees. Reddy has responded by urging people to stand against the false claims. Reddy's planned visit to the temple is a part of YSRCP's move to symbolically deny the allegations, as the party has called for participation in pujas across temples statewide when Reddy goes to Tirupati. And taking note of this, BJP's Andhra President Daggubati Purandeshwari has referred to the practice of declaring one's faith before visiting the Tirumala Tirupati temple and urged Reddy to do the same. The showdown, of course, continues over Astha, but can the temple visit prove Jagan Mohan Reddy's faith? That's the question that we are going to be debating in just a bit.
You will not be allowed to go into the temple if you don't sign the declaration.
इन्होंने जो अपराध किया, हिंदू भावनाओं को जो ठेस पहुंचाई, वो जो दंड है वो क्षमा योग्य नहीं है।
The main source of income is corruption. Whether it is in the name of God, whether it is in the name of road, whatever it is the corruption is the main source. So that makes no difference between YSR Congress Party or TDP.
Right, Siddharth Yadav, who's the spokesperson for the BJP, continues to stay with us. I'm also joined in by K. Patabiram, who's the national spokesperson of the TDP, Sujata Mahesh, who's the leader of YSRCP, and Sumant Sivaraman, who's a renowned author. Many thanks to you, Sujata, and the gentleman for joining in. Sujata, the big question is, when the TDP had already issued a government order long time ago, which in fact is number 311, and the rule 36 clearly states that one, if belongs to another community, must declare their religion before visiting a temple. If it has been a custom so far, the big question is, why not honor that custom?
Very good morning. Am I audible to you?
Yes, Sujata.
Okay. Sorry, very good evening. Yeah, so on this issue, Chandrababu Naidu, first we would like to raise mainly 3 points here. See, Chandrababu Naidu allegations on this adulteration and laddu preparation in Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, how did he declare that the adulteration has been happened without any investigation? Because first he gave these allegations and he deeply hurted Hindus' devotional feelings, and now he come up with the investigation. We are asking that how Chandrababu Naidu could give these allegations without investigation. That is one point. And the adulteration has been happened on July 6th. Okay, and Chandrababu Naidu has taken the power on June 12th. That is one point. And since Chandrababu Naidu's government is ruling, and how come he doesn't even know about this on 12th of June? Because he visited, after his oath-taking ceremony, he visited Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, and there itself he declared that Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, Jagan Mohan Reddy is doing something in Tirumala Tirupati. How he come up with the conclusion even on that day? Because it is showing that it's completely a political benefit. Chandrababu Naidu is ready to take a political benefits through this Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam laddus and all.
Sujata Mahesh,
clearly shows that.
You know, it's been over a minute, but you've veered away from the question I posed. Why not declare your faith if it has been a custom so far, one that was introduced under the TDP government?
Yes, one point here, and as per the rule number 3, 11th clause, like you mentioned that, and underneath it shows that I have the same document with me, and underneath it shows that the person has to be.
It's rule number 36, issued under order 311.
Yes, yes. Under this rule, and it clearly shows that the person should be a foreigner, like the person should belong to the other country. Where Jagan Mohan Reddy belongs to the same district, same Andhra Pradesh, and how he need to give this declaration. What we are asking is, it's not the first time Jagan Mohan Reddy is visiting Tirumala.
I think let's have it. K. Patabiram. Patabi, it's time you come in now. I think the rule very much states that anybody who does not belong to the Hindu community needs to make that declaration. Let's have the facts first.
Yeah, Akanksha, it is so ridiculous and funny to hear to what Sujata is saying. She says that only foreigners are supposed to sign the declaration. Is APJ Abdul Kalam, our former president, is he a foreigner? Why had he signed a declaration? Because he is a Muslim. So even APJ Abdul Kalam as president of India had signed the declaration, and then he went to the darshan of Lord Balaji. So they are not answering your straight question, and I'm putting this very straight, Sujata, Akanksha, that Jagan Reddy will not be allowed inside the temple if he does not sign the declaration. Ask her to
For
keep
your
quiet,
nasty
Akanksha.
politics.
Ask her to
No,
keep
no,
quiet.
Sujata, let him make a point. When you were speaking, no man spoke over you, Sujata. Please honor the other panelist as well. Let's maintain a decorum over here on this panel. Please, let him make a point.
Yeah, Akanksha, they have hurted the sentiments of crores of Hindus already. And if they try to enter the temple without signing the declaration, Mr. Jagan Reddy will not be allowed to do so. And the other thing is, these are not allegations which we are making. These are facts which are proved by NDDB and FSSAI. They are caught red-handed. Madam,
then why you are preparing for the state? If it is proved,
is this a
just
fish market?
reveal that is true.
Why is she interrupting?
Then why
You have no right to speak.
After
You have no right to speak.
Let him, Sujata, at least make a point. Siddharth Yadav, if I could bring you in on this. Okay, Siddharth Yadav, I'm bringing you in on this point since the BJP has raised the demand that the declaration come from Jagan Mohan Reddy. The big question the moot question everybody is asking. Sujata and Patabi, I'd please ask you to remain silent for a bit. Let me take my question over here with Siddharth. Siddharth, why is the BJP raising this demand all of a sudden now? That's a question everybody is asking. Why wasn't that demand raised earlier if Jagan was even heading the state back then?
No, Akanksha, first of all, the hostility of the spokesperson representing YSRCP clearly shows that, how much they are in a fix. The only politics that is trying to, being done here is the attempt to enter the temple tomorrow without proper following, of the rules and regulations that have been laid down. Now, I ask a simple question. What is the problem? If this has been a precedent, if this has been, done by others in the past, why can't Jagan Mohan Reddy do it? What is the problem here? The problem is that for his, petty politics, he is using his temple visit. He is trying to portray an image which is not true. His party representatives are representing wrong facts on national television. And what has been done to the Hindu deities, the crores of to the crores of devotees of the Tirumala Devasthan is absolutely astonishing. It's not just the laddu scam. It is also the hills that were given away, the mass corruption that happened, the throne which is still not available. It was stolen, a new one was made, no investigation happened. In the entire regime of Jagan Mohan Reddy, so many malpractices have been done in the temple and they have no answers to it. And today they are trying to do politics to, to submissive the entire feelings of all the devotees of the temple.
All right.
And I think this should not be allowed. What is the rule of the temple must be followed. The same has to be followed by Jagan Mohan Reddy. There's no other way around.
Suman C. Raman, the question that now arises is that if you look at what section 26B goes on to grant you is the right to run your own religious affair. So if the TTD is demanding that such a declaration be made, is that not justified?
Okay, before that, I want to ask just one question, which has not been answered in this. Was adulterated ghee used in the preparation of the laddu? The TTD EO says no. Four containers of tankers came. We returned all of them after the lab sample was failed.
But there were four more tankers which came
1 minute.
before, sir.
Patabi, let him speak.
Let
him
me
speak. I'll give you time. Patabi. No, I will. But it's unfortunate, Suman.
No, one fact.
Suman, we've debated this. We've debated this issue day in, day out. And today the question, you are again veering away. But I will give you time. Otherwise, you will say that we are not raising the right questions. Please go ahead.
Please. I will answer the question on Jagan having to sign a form.
Yes.
But please allow me.
Sure.
Look, this whole thing is tragic to see that, the holiest of holy shrines. I am a worshipper at Tirumala ever since I was a child. It is shocking to be seeing this being used in a political slugfest. Look,
I'm sure your religious sentiments have been hurt. I'm sure.
No, 1 minute. Has adulterated ghee been used or not? So far, there is not a shred of evidence produced that adulterated ghee was delivered on this date It
So
was
are you
used
negating
in
the report?
In the laddu.
Are you negating the report from Gujarat?
The EO has negated the report. The EO says that the consignment was returned to the vendor because it failed the test. I am not negating it.
So
please tell me
so the
which
point that
date.
you're making.
No, 1 minute. There are two things. Laddu ghee came. The ghee failed the test. And
without knowing the fact, why do you speak on national
No,
television?
you've made your point, Sumant.
I don't.
No, you
I
made your
don't know.
point. You
It
talked
may be
about
irrelevant.
returning the consignment.
Please
So
ask
Patabi Ram,
please ask the executive
Sumant
officer.
is saying
Please,
that
I am
the
quoting him.
consignment was returned.
I am.
Sujata and Sumant, if you will not let me speak. No, please let me.
Maybe
I
the
just need 10
TDP
seconds.
spokesperson knows
I
the
just
fact.
need 10 seconds.
Right,
Executive
Sumant,
officer of TDP does not know.
you've posed the possibility that the consignment was
he-
returned. So allow Patabi to come
I
up.
am not forcing it. The
No, it's not
TTP
about
Listen to me,
force.
Baba. सुमन जी जरा सुनिए एक
1
मिनट
minute.
प्लीज
1
लिसन
minute. Tell me
अरे
the
प्लीज
date.
लिसन
Tell
टू
me
द
the date.
फैक्ट आकांक्षा
When was
Right, so he's asking for a date. Please,
Give me
Patabi.
the date.
Patabi, please
Give me the
answer.
date on which the consignment was
अरे लिसन
received,
टू
the
मी
date
लिसन टू
on
मी
which it
मिस्टर
was
सुमन
used,
अरे आप
the
सुनिए
date
एक
on which it
मिनट
was used.
ये आप सुनिए
Please
एक
give-
मिनट आप सुनिए एक मिनट AR Foods had supplied 8 tankers of ghee, not 4. They have supplied 8. 4 tankers were consumed at the same rate
Date.
that ghee
Please
was
give the
supplied.
date.
Arre,
Please give
June
the date.
12th.
Please give
Arre,
the
listen
date.
to me. Why do you interrupt? Please listen to me. Understand the fact. You have to know the facts. June 12th, the first tanker arrived. Then again 2 other tankers arrived in June. 5th July, 1 more tanker arrived. After 4 tankers of ghee supplied by AR Foods was consumed, and after pilgrims started complaining of foul smell coming out from the laddus, then the EO,
Please
then the EO
produce
had
that.
sent
Please inform the
samples of
EO.
the remaining 4 tankers. So,
Sorry, sir,
4
EO
All right.
tankers of
Now let
ghee
me. So
supplied by
that
AR
answer
Foods
has
was
been
consumed.
made. But Sumant C. Raman, Sujata, don't scream, don't shout, Sujata.
How do you give the allegations on that?
Sumant C. Raman, I just
Hey,
want to
madam,
ask
don't
you
know anything.
the
You
question.
don't have a right to
The
say.
question I was
You
posing.
belong to a party
I'm
which
going.
had committed a
I'll have to request my
1 minute.
team to please
Akansha.
mute. No, Sumant C. Raman, I have given you ample time to pose that question.
Now let me
Patabi
also-
has also made that answer. Now please answer.
He has not answered. Sorry.
Is this not a
Executive
fair
officer has-
demand when we already have that granted in the Indian Constitution that you have the right to run your religious affairs?
Can I answer that? Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy has visited the temple multiple times as Chief Minister. Did he sign the agreement? Did he sign this declaration? Second, he went along with Prime Minister Modi. There are photographs of the Prime Minister and Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy standing together inside the temple. Did Prime Minister Modi ask him to sign that? Please ask the BJP
He had never
spokesperson
signed that
whether the
declaration.
Prime Minister.
All right, Siddharth Yadav. Siddharth, that's a question for the BJP. Siddharth Yadav, let me bring Patabi. I'm sure Siddharth will answer that. Patabi, let Siddharth answer that. Patabi, I'm going to request you to please let Siddharth take that question. Siddharth.
Did YSR?
Akansha, first of all, I'll request all your panelists, specifically the senior journalist who's sitting here, to show some sensitivity to the issue. The emotions and feelings of so many devotees have been affected, and you are trying to portray and bring out and create a narrative which is not true, and I think it's very insensitive on their part. Point number 2, if such a thing has happened, there are rules in the temple. What is the problem if Jagan Mohan Reddy does it today? What is the problem? What is the problem in declaring your faith? If you want to declare that you belong to a certain faith, declare and go in the temple. What is the problem? Politics. It's just the politics, Akansha, that they want to, keep above everything, and that is why all this fuss is happening. Otherwise, such a sensitive issue has happened. The feelings of so many devotees have been affected. Jagan Mohan Reddy should not only, take cognizance of this, but should also, come out very sensitively and address the issues and emotions. I think I don't find a reason why this is not happening. It's a very simple question.
All right. Sumant, I see Sujata wants to make a point. Sujata, before I'm giving you time, but I have one question which I'd like you to keep in mind. You please go ahead with your response. Sujata, this year itself, the Madras High Court has gone on to make a ruling in the case of Senthil Kumar versus the state of Tamil Nadu. They have said that they've gone on to in fact clearly say on record that any non-Hindu must take a written undertaking before entering a Hindu temple. And if Tamil Nadu can do that, why can't Andhra Pradesh?
Yes, 1 second. This is not the first time Jagan Mohan Reddy visiting Tirupati Devasthanam. He visited couple of times.
Right, but perhaps now.
Okay, that's the one point.
Why not start from now?
That's the one point. Along with Prime Minister and Jagan Mohan Reddy as the Chief Minister, he made couple of reforms in Tirupati Devasthanam. He established Veda Patishala. He managed to develop this Goshala also. And what Chandrababu Naidu did that. Chandrababu Naidu
he had misused his position as Chief Minister. He never signed the declaration. He will not be allowed. I am saying this very strongly. He will not be allowed. He cannot hurt the sentiments of Hindus.
Alright, I can't make sense of what Sujata is saying. Patabi, I'll give you 30 seconds to come up with a counter to that. Alright, so I am running short of time. Patabi, you've heard the point Sujata is making. If that happened in the past, why not let it happen now is the point that YSRCP is making.
Jagan Reddy as Chief Minister, he had broke the rule. He never followed the rule. Without signing the declaration, he had gone into the temple,
think the discussion
and it
ends
not happened this time.
The discussion ends there. I again allude to what Section 26B of the Indian Constitution says, that you have the right to run your own religious affairs, and perhaps whether it's a former Chief Minister or a current one, they ought to honour it. Many thanks to you, Sujata, and the gentleman for joining in on Plain Speak. And with that, it's a quick wrap. Up next is the Hard Facts with Rahul Shivshankar.
Co-powered by
and they have faith and only they're supposed to enter, which has been very respectfully accepted by our late Prime President Abdul Kalam. Okay. After that, who are the two great human beings who violated is Jagan's father, Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy, and the great Italian lady Sonia Gandhi. Okay. Now I come to the next point. These people have come in power in 2019 May. Typically within a very short period, Jagan's uncle यानी चाची की husband, Chacha ji. This person has been deployed as chairman TTD.
Right.
The first thing he has done is removed the GO. Words they not have to give an undertaking. Now who the hell he is? How can he just as it is? He doesn't belong to our faith.
Right.
यानी कि Hindu. He still has been given a post. In fact, he is supposed to sign it and then enter into his position, which he did not do. What is the interest? See, basically, why do you make chairman of any under endowment and Hindu institution, such as Sanatan institution, that they work towards the development of the temple? What is the conspiracy? I'm questioning that he reversed the undertaking. That's the first point I want to question.
Right.
Now, second point. Mr. Jagan says, Chandrababu Naidu ji has got the report of the ghee that has been returned 18 trucks. Fair enough. Then where is the report of those 18 trucks ghee that has been sent back? They reached Tirumala and they've been sent back.
Right.
Is there a testing center in Tirumala? If there is a testing center in Tirumala, how quickly have you have come up to a decision that it is adulterated and you have sent back? Because now that it is a proof that they have been sent back, show us that test report. First point. After that, the trucks which have come with a new ghee, did you again test back? Because you're already burnt with the news that it is adulterated ghee. Then there is a new test report to tell that
okay,
you've got
fair
a good
enough,
ghee.
Madhvi ji. I wanted